silly little games? Well, we've got lots of them, and they're great candidates to be progressive web apps. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to turn JavaScript Snake into a progressive web application that you can play on any device.
Hey, thanks a lot for joining me. This is Chris, the owner of Love to Dev, and today I want to show you how to play the JavaScript Snake game. Then we'll go walk through the code. And this is a progressive web app, but the code right now is kind of preventing it from working on phones because it doesn't support touch. So I am going to show you on my desktop right now. So let's just go play the game. If you're not familiar with Snake, it's a game that came out on the Nokia feature phones a while back and was super popular because I think it basically was the only game. But the goal is to try to hit these little things and make your snake grow without hitting the snake or the wall. As you can see, the snake gets bigger and a little faster. This is going to be very difficult. There we go. Oh, another difficult one. But basically you just use the arrow keys to move the snake right, left, up, and down. And again, you want to try to avoid hitting the walls. The snake, you just want to eat the one dot. Oh, I missed it. Yeah, I missed it again. Anyway, that's how it works. Now what I'm going to try to do over the next, I don't know when I'm going to have time to do it, is add touch to it and also make it responsive so that it works on phones better. It's also got this kind of really bad menu option stuff up here. This definitely needs to get cleaned up, so I'll try to work on that if I have time. But anyway, let's go to the code and see how that works. Hey guys, in this part of the video we're going to just walk through the code on how I upgraded the Snake application. Now, I don't think this is the prettiest implementation of the game, but again, this is Snake, something that works on featured phones, and so I don't know that it was supposed to be pretty, but that's okay. Now, just real quick, the basic stuff, make sure there's a viewport, got a reference to the manifest file that we'll check out here in a moment, got a fav icon. Made sure I had a theme color meta tag that matches up to the theme color in the web manifest file. And this is where I go, what the heck is this guy doing? Because he put all of the navigation in the head element, which I don't know that I've ever seen somebody do something like that. But eventually I plan on cleaning it up. I just didn't want to fuss with the UI too much on this at this point. And then, of course, we've got the regular stuff. So this is how the game gets triggered off. Again, not the best thing here, but that's okay. It works. This is actually this is the theme changing code. The actual game is in the file snake, and then he initiates it here. So what I did was I just extended his inline script block to do our service worker registration code. Again, this is just the super simple service worker registration code. If you are interested in doing more advanced things here, I've got some stuff in my progressive web app from beginner to expert course that will cover more intermediate and advanced level topics around this. But for our purposes, this simple service worker registration is all we need. Again, you verify that that service workers are supported in the browser, and then you proceed to register the service worker using the register method, passing it the URL to your service worker, which should be in the root of your site. And then all I'm doing is just echoing out if it was successful or failed. That's really all we're doing. Let's go look at the web manifest file. Oh yeah, real quick. Just to make sure I did. I don't know why that is or why that's commented out, but it is. Oh, I know why I commented it out, so I could work on it locally. I am referencing an app cache here, and if we go look at snake.appcache, this is so it'll work offline in older browsers. I think I don't think I need the quotes. Let me take those off. But basically, these are all the resources to make the game work. You need the HTML page, the regular and dark skin theme, and then the images, and of course the JavaScript that drives the game, the snake.js. Now if we look at the manifest file, again we've got our long name. We've got the name that shows up on the icon on the home screen. You got a nice description. Got an array of icons that I generated using the Progressive Web App image generator. And again, I put those into a meta folder so I can isolate those out from regular application assets. Told it the start URL to be the root, and put the scope in there for the application to also be the domain. Again, I'll want to make sure it's displayed full screen, and that means no browser Chrome. It's a little different from the other ones, but basically, yeah, no browser Chrome. Got a background color, believe that matches up to the blue. The Web Manifest stuff doesn't, in the in Visual Studio Code doesn't give me the color actually on here, RGB. Oh, that would actually be the red, I think, because this is the blue. And that, if you remember, matches to the theme color we set in the head. Now, the reason I started doing that is because I needed to, I started getting warnings from Lighthouse about that, but I was also seeing warnings in the console, and I think that might be one of the reasons why you may not get the add to home screen prompt, is if these theme colors are way too out of sync, basically. So I think it's a good idea to make sure that you've got the theme color set in the head as well as here. And it, from what I can tell too, it also needs to actually match up to the artwork that you are uploading, like the images that are referenced up here. And I think there's some evaluation going on to see if there's too much contrast, that kind of thing, or they're just not in line with each other. I do have portrait here, although I think this game might work a little better in landscape. I'll eventually want to do, because I don't think right now this game does not work on touch screens, which basically means it doesn't work on phones, which is very ironic since Snake was a phone game. It does rely on using the keyboard, which of course on feature phones was how you did it. But I want it to be portrait because I want it to be able to work on phones and lay out correctly. And be able to control it. So this game's going to need a little love to make actually work correctly, at least across different devices. And I think I already mentioned it. I found some other repos since working with this one that may wind up being a little bit better code bases to work with. So if what I may do is actually completely wipe it out and use a different code base for the game. But this one looks a lot like what was on the Nokia phones, so I may try to clean it up. There is a lot of work that needs to be done to make this truly responsive and usable on different devices. So anyway, but yeah, just a basic code walkthrough, nothing too spectacular or fancy with this one. But hopefully it'll serve as a good reference to get you started on your progressive web application journey. Now, do have a link to the blog post in the description below. There's also a link to the GitHub source repo that I forked. You're free to clone or fork and do what you want to with it. And if you are looking into learning how to do progressive web apps and service workers, I've got a course with right now well over 20 hours worth of video training content. It's Progressive Web App from Beginner to Expert, and if you hit the link in the description below, which is pwacourse.com, that will take you to the page where you can register for $29, which is $171 off the regular $200 list price, just because you watched this video and I know you are excited about progressive web apps and I want to be able to help you. So be sure to register for the course as well. And if you got any questions or comments about this or anything about progressive web apps, feel free to leave those in the description below or in the comment section below, or hit me up on Twitter at ChrisLove and ask me questions, and I'll be more than willing to dialogue with you as well. Thanks a lot, and I hope this has been fun.